let's see, Venom. So let me tell you what this movie was not. And I bumped into a bunch of reviews, and I'm at the car wash. I bumped into a bunch of reviews, and first, okay, let me get it out of the way. This is not a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, first of all. And I think that with all the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, you know, all of the Marvel studio films, the bar is ridiculously high when you see a superhero, you know, Marvel Cinematic Universe film that or character. Sony owns and did this movie, Sony Columbia. When you see the film, it'll say in association with Marvel. In association with. It ain't Marvel Universe. Kevin Feige did not produce this film. And that is the only thing missing from that, from the film, is that Marvel Cinematic Universe studio thumbprint. And we are spoiled, you know, that's really the truth. Also too, I went in knowing that this was not going to be the original source material, the way that Venom came from outer space and popped on Spider-Man's hand, you know, in the Secret Wars. That's the original real story. So I knew that already. I knew he came from space, but you know, this is a standalone film, standalone origin story that they wanted to do something to open the doors for when Sony does come in contact with Homecoming Spider-Man and all of that other thing. You know, Carnage. You know, there's a possibility for Carnage with Cletus. I think his name Cletus, the Woody Harrelson character, but the Cletus. I can't remember his last name. I can't remember that guy's last name. Anyway, they left a lot of possibilities open, and they got a cool director. And the most important thing of this film was the Tom Hardy element, which for $7 million, they got a lot of work out of that guy for $7 million. I mean, he was Venom's voice as well as his own character. A lot of physical comedy, and they raised that from, they lifted that from the magazines, from the Venom character, how funny that Venom is. You know, Venom actually as a symbiote, the character, and how they get the chemistry between Eddie and Venom. That was neat. So looking for what the film was, what it was supposed to be as a standalone film, I didn't find a problem with it. I mean, it's not the greatest film of all time, but it wasn't garbage. Like, I saw, like, Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 30% or 30% of a Rotten Tomato rating. It's better than that. Like, I mean, the action was cool. I mean, the writing was a little bit weak, but like I've said before, Marvel makes movies that just so happens to have heroes in them. And this was an action film. This was a superhero action film, or, you know, super villain. But yeah, it did what it needed to do. Like, I can't, you know, out of 5 glasses of milk, I'll give it 3.4, 3.5. It's worth the see. You're going to want to see it in case they, you know, you know, bring him over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What else? And that's another thing too. For the diehard Venom fan, it's difficult to do him in the light of day, because, like, Marvel Comics are trying to appease to children. It's almost like the Punisher, you know, or Deadpool. It's difficult with such rated R stuff. Like, Venom is brutal, you know what I mean? The same way the Predator kills people, bites people's heads off, decapitates them, pulls their head out of there, pulls their skeleton, their vertebrae out of their body. You know, it's difficult to do Venom all the way. You know, curse words, brutality, you know, potty humor. So they gave it a nice test as a standalone, and that's what it was. And see how everybody gravitates toward it. So there's a lot of things battling for attention that's difficult to deal with. But as a standalone, I'm saying it again, as a standalone, it was a good try. It was a good entry. It was a good introduction. You know, I remember when Janelle Monáe stepped on the scene. She had many, many followers, and because she emerged and Puffy and Bad Boy kind of, as far as distribution, usurped her or took her on board, people thought she was a Bad Boy artist. And she's not. She had her own thing. Just like Venom has his own thing, but he's been, you know, kind of in association with Sony. Anyway, it's worth to see. I thought it was okay. Magnificent film? No, but fun. A fun ride. And you should see it. You should see it. Yeah. I made the video because it's not trash. It's not garbage. It was a fun film.